This video is part 4 of a 5-part hiking and tent camping guide to Patagonia's Torres del Paine Park. It covers preparations and how to get to the park. Links to the other 5 parts of the guide are found in my YouTube repository given here. There are essentially 11 steps to get there that I will cover sequentially. First, you need to check if you need a tourist visa. Getting camping permits for my hike of the O Trail was a bit of a nightmare. I needed an unbelievable 13 permits. The reason for this gross mismanagement of the park is the fact that the park is totally dominated by some private ownerships. It is a national park in name only. I had to deal with 3 different largely privately controlled entities for the reservations. I had to go back and forth to get my campground reservations all lined up. Just ridiculous. In going to Chile, you will most likely fly into the international airport in the capital, Santiago. You need to be very careful and have plenty of time for your connecting flight, because this is an airport where you should expect the unexpected. You will have to spend one night in Punta Arenas to get a proper bus connection to Puerto Natales that likely will only be available the next day. It is well worth to explore the charming central square of Punta Arena with its many stray dogs. Going for walks in the waterfront area, you may experience some nice music and local artwork. The bus to Puerto Natales will take about 3 hours. If you use the Bus Sur company, their bus terminal should be located at this place. Thus, to save money on transport and get a timely walking connection to the terminal, it may be worthwhile to look for accommodation close to this location. The Bus Sur buses to Puerto Natales are modern and comfortable. The bus terminal you will arrive at in Puerto Natales is at this location, which is not the best area for accommodation if you are planning on spending a couple of days exploring the more charming areas of Puerto Natales that I highly recommend. Finding accommodation near this plaza in the middle of Old Town would serve you much better. It is a nice, quiet plaza area with good access to shops and restaurants. If you have not already made reservations for the bus transport from Puerto Natales to Torres del Paine Park, it is best done when you arrive at the Puerto Natales bus terminal, which is a modern transportation hub for connections to many exciting areas of Patagonia. I highly recommend spending more than one night in Puerto Natales before taking the bus to Torres del Paine. Perhaps the most valuable time spent in Puerto Natales will be to attend the free talk about hiking and camping in the park given by the camping outfitter Erratic Rock, that also provided inexpensive, simple accommodation at their next door base camp lodging. They provided very valuable information, far better than the dismal sales pitch type of information provided by the major concession holders of the park. The nearby plaza is a charming, peaceful place. If you explore the side streets of the plaza in this old town area, you will find some impressive mural artwork. Also, do not miss the charming waterfront area, a popular promenade area for the locals. Going on a car excursion for one day gives you an excellent opportunity to explore some of the great nature near the park that can be reached in less than 2 hours. Doing that, I saw more wildlife in one day than I saw in my more than 1 week long hike in the park, and scenery that matches that in the park. In my trip to Patagonia, I regret not having properly explored the incredible alternative options for hikers that Patagonia offers, so well expressed here by Rustin from Erratic Rock.
But people get so fixated on just the park, and Patagonia is a really big, beautiful place. And they kind of come and they see Torres del Paine and they leave. And I would say that is the biggest mistake. There are so many more things to do in Patagonia that are not within, these national park boundaries. Places that you can just roam and trek and camp for free and not have a timeline and have no reservation and not see another person. There's no dangers in Patagonia, which makes it really incredible for new trekkers. There's no bears, there's no snakes, there's no poisonous bugs or disease. You don't have to filter the water. This is a great place to learn how to trek.
The bus from Puerto Natales to the park will first drop you off at Laguna Hamaca, where you may have to stay in a very long line waiting to pay your park entrance fee. Many visitors will then take the short minibus ride from Laguna Hamaca to the bus terminal at the Torres Central campground area. The bus terminal at the Torres Central campground is next to the welcome center that you do not need to enter. You can, in a very short walk, get to the campground area and check in with your registration number and set up tent. Other visitors, mainly the hikers for the W Trail, will take the bus from Laguna Hamaca to the jetty at Pejo Lake for subsequent boat ride to the Piney Grande campground. This completes part 4 of the 5-part hiking and tent camping guide for Patagonia's Torres del Paine Park. Links to the other parts you find in my YouTube repository given here. You may have sensed my limited enthusiasm for Torres del Paine. The reason for that you will find in part 5 that I highly recommend you watch if you are contemplating visiting the park. As an alternative, the current YouTube video will at least be helpful for how to get to the excellent bus station in Puerto Natales that serves as a major hub for exploring the exciting vast areas of Patagonia.